Typically when we're going to film cars, we try to keep them in as clean shape as possible so it looks better on camera, but that's clearly not the case with this car today. Today we're taking a look at this. This is an all-electric compact SUV off-roader, and this is the Jaecoo J6. Let's take a very quick first look. You may not be very familiar with Jaecoo, but that's because this is only the second of the Jaecoos to arrive here in Singapore, following the first Jaecoo J7 plug-in super hybrid SUV. Now this is slightly smaller and is aimed at something younger and something more adventurous. Now if you don't see any Jaecoo badging up front, that's because this is a repurposed car from another Chery sub-brand called Sgcarmart 03. Now this time it's rebadged under the Omoda and Jaecoo export brands, Jaecoo being slightly more SUV, more adventurous, whereas Omoda is something more modern and more chic. Now up front you get full LED daytime running lights up here, full LED headlamps, and a very nice sled design. You get a very huge bumper right here, so it looks very hulking, very muscular. Most of the surfaces are very flat and very angular, very 90-degree. So it gives it a very, very big sort of character. You also get really large fenders right here, and if you look at our first video over in Wuhu, this car can absolutely take a beating. Now over by the side, the Jaecoo J6 immediately stands out thanks to its character. It's also not the most range-friendly or battery-friendly, but if you're giving me something like an EV, like one of those egg-shaped EVs versus this, it's this all day, any day. Just like if you're giving me an R35 versus an R34, it's going to be the R34 all day. It really reminds me of the Suzuki Jimny, which on paper was quite not that well spec'd a car, but till date it is still one of the most fun cars I've ever driven. Now this Jaecoo J6 measures some 4.4 by 1.9 by 1.7, and over by the side you're going to get proximity lock and unlocking, as well as full 360 cameras with what they call 540 top and bottom view included. Now your charge port is going to be right here, which takes up to 80 kilowatt DC charging. And with its proximity lock and unlock, you're also going to get a light and sound show every time you approach the car. Now over by the rear, the I motif continues to get I-wheel drive. This is a dual motor all-wheel drive electric vehicle, Jaecoo J6 EV. That is probably the only time you're going to see the Jaecoo badging. And a high mount brake light right here. Your rear boot is open from the side like this, button actuated. And you also get an exterior trunk for dirty things that you don't want to store inside the cabin. The usefulness doesn't just end here. Over here you get a hydraulic arm opening your rear boot door. You get two hooks right here, netting here, and then more hooks on the inside, as well as a 12-volt charger and a very sizable boot space right here. And it's also expandable if you knock down the rear seats. Over by the rear, I'm 1.75 meters tall. It is quite a step to get up to this because of its off-roader ground clearance in addition to its battery down below. But I'm 1.75 meters tall. This is my head space. This is my leg space at my comfortable driving position. Your head space is extended by this panoramic sunroof right here. Very nice leather material fills the cabin. And you also get infinity speakers, which are a subsidiary of Harman Kardon. So you're gonna get that nice sound quality. If there's nobody in the middle, you can pull this armrest down for a nice, more comfortable lounging position. Otherwise, the flat floor makes it very easy to move around. And if you need more vertical space right here, check this out. This is one of the first times that I've seen people try to go up against the Honda legendary Magic seats. So you can actually push these seats up right here to store more vertical things like this. And what is this? Well, this is rear seat ventilation. So you get not only front seat ventilation, but rear seat ventilation for your left and right passengers, in addition to massage seats for the front. Over by the driver's cabin, immediately you feel the steering wheel is a little bit smaller than you're used to, and it is pretty nondescript, void of many labels. But on the right side is your media controls, and on the left side, very nicely, your aircon and fan and temperature controls, and also your smart cruise control settings. So if you're not controlling your smart cruise control, it by default is controlling your aircon temperature and fan, which is a very nice touch. So you don't actually have to fiddle inside the screen. But speaking of the screen, you get a massive 15.6-inch infotainment display with wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, and most of your controls are also found inside here. So everything from your car settings, electronic glove box opening right here, sunroof, you can control it manually or through the screen right here, rest mode, pet mode. So, and there are also a little bit of Chineseism, so things like instead of a pets mode, it's called a love pets mode. It's because this is also an off-roader. You get, in addition to your usual eco, normal, sport drive modes, you're also going to get custom and all-road, slippery for the snow, beach for the sand, muddy well for the mud, bumpy for the rocks. And so it really seems like a car to bring on all sorts of fun drive. Now over here you get a 9.2-inch sunken instrument cluster display right here, a very horizontal bar, kind of like the Smart, quite nicely designed. Curiously, there is a little Jaecoo J6 right here in your instrument cluster, and also one on your infotainment system. But while the one on the infotainment system will mimic your brake lights as well as your hazard lights, the one on the instrument cluster doesn't. But other than that, you're still going to get all your driving information, range, battery percentage, all your headlights information, very, very useful. So you get two manual aircon vents down here moving down the middle, grab bar, so when you go off-roading, there are things to hold on to so you're not tossed all around the cabin. Two wireless chargers right here, one with active cooling, two cup holders, and then a cubby space down here, as well as a floating center console space right here, in addition to the electronically opened glove box. With a car like this, unfortunately, you have to suffer some because it's just not that aerodynamic. For its 70 kWh battery, you're going to get 342 km of WLTP city highway combined range and 470 km of WLTP city range. But if you ask me, I think that range is a very worthy trade-off because what it delivers in its stead is a ton of power, a ton of fun. It's not like a performance car, but it brings it together very nicely. It is dual motor all-wheel drive and delivers 275 brake horsepower, 380 Newton meters of torque, 0 to 100 in 6.5 seconds. And the price for all of this dual motor off-roader compact SUV that's well kitted, front and rear ventilated seats, front massage seats, panoramic sunroof, 540-degree camera. The price for this? Just under 200,000. Now, if you're very interested in this, you can head on down to Omoda and Jaecoo at Ubi to check this car out. If you ask me, I think this is an instant winner. What do you think? Leave it in the comments below, as well as any other car that you'd like to see us try out. This has been our very quick first look. Now, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to us. Hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of our future uploads. And do follow us on TikTok. We are at Sgcarmart. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.